It's only this one guy left, isn't it? He doesn't look too happy. There's a body there. Can I go into this place, or is it like locked? Is it like locked where I can't unlock it, or? Oh, I guess not. Not flooding the place, am I? Doesn't look like there's too much in here. Nope, guess can't go through there. Interesting. I wonder who that guy is. Doesn't seem to be any identifying marks. And it wasn't a special knife, was it? No, just a regular one. Or a sharpened one. I don't have anything else on me. You see a young man. He's gazing up into the ceiling as if contemplating something. His thought process is almost uninterrupted. During brief interruptions, the man leans down over his sketch pad and adds a few lines to his unusual drawing. Having noticed you, he gives you a friendly smile and nods. Oh, such a shame. I've already finished painting. Stalker's resting. You would have been the perfect model. Just the type. How can I help you? From what I can tell, you're an artist? The man places his chewed up pencil behind his ear and innocently shrugs his shoulders. I also thought that we've died out at the great abstract. No, there are still artists in this world. Some of them are even capable of making a living. And while we're on this topic, I can tell you're a man of experience. Can you help me with a project of mine? Depends on the project, I guess. The man rubs his forehead, scratches his chin, and sighs heavily. The thing is, I was hired to create some illustrations for some science fiction books by a local writer, Kubsov. At first, it was going really well. I was drawing stalkers, turning them into intergalactic communists and mimics, found in nature, turning them into alien specimens found on other planets. Smart move. Reality should inspire art. You get me. But now I need to draw a vicious monster who's waiting for the protagonist, Dick Popov, in the labyrinth of the busty Duchess of Uranus, Marina Smirnova. I've made a few sketches, but it's not it. I can't draw an empty tank. I need inspiration. I need a great model, or at least a great story to go on. Here's what I was thinking. The most experienced stalkers sometimes whisper about this beast they saw somewhere in the north, a giant monster called Kukush. The creature got really stuck in my mind, even though I'd never seen it, and I have no intention of meeting it. But if someone who saw Kukush in real life told me about it in detail, I'm sure this would be enough for me to draw the most epic, terrifying picture you've ever seen. I'm not planning on travelling north. Do you happen to know anyone who's met the monster? Some time ago, a famous stalker came to Krasno's Pneumonia. He's the one who's seen Kukush and managed to escape it. I think it's a good idea to talk to him about it. After you talk to him, tell me what he told you and I'll pay you about 300 to 500 rubles. Our client's name is Patrick. Patrick. Right, I can't promise you anything, but we'll see. Care to answer some more questions? Easy peasy. What are you most interested in? Who are you? My name is Trudemir. I'm a travelling artist. And are you local here in Paragon? You know, I've worn so many pairs of boots flat through my life, I don't even remember where I put the first pair on. I was a little boy when my parents decided that living on the road is a great plan. And what are you doing here? I found a job in my favourite field, the fine arts. I need to create illustrations to complement the dubious graphomania of a local comrade, Gustave, who recently came up with a space opera, Dick Popov and the Mystery of the Lost Bust. So now I'm just sitting here drawing and receiving money from the government. Okay. It's nice to know it's nice to enjoy your work, I guess. All the while, people like me are trying to support the fading spark of the high arts. The mutants in the circus not far away from here are put on horrible vulgar shows. Imagine a pretty woman speaking out of the nether regions, or a ship brothel where you can solicit services from a decadent bisexual serving time in the sex army. Truly, in today's world, morality is a lost cause. I wouldn't say so. And I gotta go now. So, no one in here can help lighten my load. Have I seen... I don't think I've spoken to you. I'm not sure about... Oh yeah, I've spoken to you. Wait, come back here. I can't walk so fast. A tall blonde of around 30 with wide shoulders, strong arms and a scar going through the right half of her face lights a ciggy from a small electronic device that looks like a miniature blowtorch. After that, she turns to you and answers a question nobody even asked. I'm not interested in mercenary work. I'm on vacation. Bother someone else. And if you were not on vacation, what kind of mercenary work would you offer then? I'm a mercenary. I fix people's problems in exchange for money, but a few months ago I decided to take a rest from it all, so I joined this here guard regiment. Taking a rest by working as a guard? The woman sends a ring of smoke in your direction. After what I saw and felt on the battlefield, guards work is like vacation. I don't need to even shoot at people every day. Are you experienced, mercenary? What's your kill count? The woman takes out a weathered Nagant pistol, spins it on her finger, and shows off tens of tiny lines carved into the barrel. I keep score by putting lines on my Matilda's barrel. And get this, if you're just a small fire civilian, you don't even get a mark. And what pushed you away from a mercenary's life? The woman shrugs and spits on the floor. Dunno, maybe I just wanted to change my life for a bit. Maybe I got tired, or maybe, you know. No, what? Can you elaborate? The woman looks you straight in the eyes for a minute or two. Finally, she nods, sighs, and continues talking as if there's no pause in the conversation. Maybe I got burned out when the baby I was pregnant with started coming out prematurely as I was hiding on the battlefield, shooting drug-crazed savages with one hand whilst pulling this bloody lump of dead flesh out of my body with the other. Something broke inside me that day. I just didn't notice. Let's change the subject, okay? Yeah, that is pretty grim. Yeah, let's do that. I want to ask you some questions. The woman exhales a large cloud of smoke from a newly lit ciggy. That's better. Speak. Are you local, or are you from some other place? I'm from the north, but I haven't visited my place of birth since childhood. Came here straight from Sevastopol. No jobs there currently. And what are your thoughts on this place? You people live in the safest place around and don't even know it. I can't help myself from laughing when I hear some of your peasants cry about bandits or the unfair government. They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, I guess when you have no comparison. What do you do for a living? I'm a guard and a military consultant at the same time. Before this gig I was feeding myself thanks to all the tiny wars going on in the wasteland. It's pretty fun until one moment. Yep, I can imagine. Can I share some local gossip? I don't know, everything's so safe and childish around here. Even the rumours sound like they were made for little babies. For example, a hot piece of news concerns a guy who made himself a pet mermaid. Such random acts of foolishness can only be thought of if you have nothing better to do in life. And you do have some weed to sell. Nice. I guess this place is defensible, but it's not all... well... right. See who else can sell stuff to. Or buy stuff from, maybe. Standing in front of you is an elderly man, his face showing signs of unbearable boredom. Having noticed you, he livens up, but only a little. What can I do for you, young man? Let's do some business. I'll talk about something interesting. Oh, you've said it. Let's do business. Oh, let's do business, of course. My son was just looking for a bottle to buy for his old dad. A little bottle of something warming, like literally no more than 100 grams, to help strengthen the immune system. An invisible army of white blood cells. Oh, but that's... no, can't be. It's impossible. The man is looking over your back in suspicion where old man Hexagen is standing, shifting his weight from one foot to another. You seem to know my buddy Hexagen here? No, really, I was mistaken. Although, hey comrade, why are you standing all the way over there? Let me take a closer look. Old man Hexagen turns to the merchant. Wait, what? I was right. It's Writer Trudov himself. But how? What brings you here, after all this time in camps, after being exiled to America? Despicable. As if I would let anyone exile me to that rotten godless empire of withered capitalism. The only thing they did was run that story full of lies in their useless newspapers. In reality, they just drove me from Moscow and left me there. And trust me, there was no America there. Just a good old city of Zaraysk, cheerful and full of light. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I've been reading your books all my life. Tobik and the Shock Workers, Mishka's Borscht, The Adventures of Lazarus, Lazarus on the Red Planet. The scene where Humpty Dumptys tear Lazarus apart with their bare hands for overthrowing a communist regime on Mars is haunting my dreams still to this day. You realize you've met a person who can tell you more about your companion than he himself. And he has some decent money as well, for decent prices. Can you remind me how Trudov ended up at Gulag? The merchant studies the scratch on his chin and shoots a look at Hexagen's direction. What Comrade Trudov didn't tell you himself? Well, as far as I know, he wrote an open letter to Comrade Stalin suggesting we hand over Leningrad to the Nazis. Temporarily, hand over temporarily, and then when the Zolotic Fritzes would have fallen sick with galloping consumption from that gruesome swamp weather, we'd be able to easily kill them by sending over some kids with sticks, or even dogs. And that's it. The city of Peter would have been free once more. Well... let me ask you something. Continue asking in silence. That collection of poems from 1941 was quite controversial. Germany's excellence, wasn't it? I've written that for the occupying forces, to remind them of how beautiful their Vaterland is. So they'd return there. Who knew that damn Vlasov would be so impressive that he defected the whole army? Oh yes, that's what I thought. And then there was the book, They Conquered Berlin. In the book, the hero liberates us with some English guy with a Japanese sword and a woman with rakes for hands. It's my creative vision, you scandally ill-wisher. Sure, my thoughts exactly, but those are the reasons. And let me ask you something else. How many books did he write? Didn't Comrade Trudeau remember it all himself? Well, it's no surprise there. Years have gone by. But there are a lot of books, that's true. My collection of his works took up half my living room. Bolts of the Wooden Stack Novate, Dennis, Frank Confessions, Warmongers. The most important thing about all this pulp fiction is not having a clear concept or topic. Just the wisdom that kept me from being a miserable or despicable street salesman, suspected of being gay, just so you know. Well, maybe you're right. And why did you choose to live a life of an outcast for so long? Well, after he sold his book about life in the Gulag, the Vorkuta Tricks, to an American publisher, even though the Khrushchev's government offered him to publish it for free to combat the personality cult. I have to support my addiction to cheap tobacco and self-made drug from tea leaves that I acquired in the minting machine that was in Stalin's regime. And since the time at the party, the press and the people don't really like him that much, I'm sure that up until this day, many people, except for a few die-hard fans, have some warm words they want to say to him. Great, so he's a fire hazard then. And the old man's memory is not what it used to be. Do you remember any interesting stories from his life? I have to admit that I recall this episode from Vorkuta Tricks. It's quite inappropriate. My comrade Trudeau at night went to use the bucket, but it being dark mist and saw the shoes to sell kingpin. He went to sleep hoping that his underlings would notice it in the morning and clean them, but... Shh, this isn't a storage suitable for children's ears. I'm kindly asking you to zip it. Yes, there wasn't anything else there. Let's change subject. I have a couple of questions for you. Always my pleasure. What do we talk about? What's your name, buddy? Her name is Eugenie Boguslavsky. What should I call you, my young friend? So my name is... I like the way they're different words each time. Christian Weston Chandler. Caligula Presley, the siren-esque tyrant. Zlilov, the Whisperer. Glad to meet you, Igor. And tell me about this place. Of course, Paragon is no place to settle for long term, but still, there's everything one needs to have life here, and as long as it stays the trading post that it is now, people keep flocking here. Wise words. And what do you do? I'm a merchant like many others. However, in a different time I might have been considered a scavenger. I have a bit of everything here. Guns, ammo, food, medicine, and all sorts of junk. It's valuable to only real craftsmen. Any interesting gossip? I heard that some second-hand bookseller has killed a whole gang of literature deniers. Finally, the book trade in the Wasteland will get a chance to flourish. God damn it. Soon I too will buy some popular science booklets to read from that Abraham fellow in Krasnostamonia. I wonder who killed them. Let's talk business. What are you selling? Price is good to the people who are looking to survive the wilderness. Excellent. It's just that I'm a bit short of cash these days. Care to give me a discount in honor for our newfound friendship? The man thinks you have a proposition over for a few seconds and finally shrugs and nods. Well, you seem like a nice guy. Fine, I'll give you a discount. Yeah, it's not really any change, I guess. Is it massive? I already bought some stuff from him. I just didn't expect to actually be able to win him over a different way. Wait, where is my chest? Oh, there it is. 652. No, it's the same. I think. Need to get my cash. Wait here. Will you have more money for me? A neatly dressed woman in glasses looking at a modern crossword puzzle printed on bad paper. Having noticed you, she looks away from the crossword and addresses you in a stern voice. Paragon Guest House, usual prices, unusual quality. Are you looking for a room to rent? What's the cost of living here? Wasteland standard, 50 rubles for a room, price of food included. Want it? Change my mind, stay one step back. Fine, if you wish. I'd rather ask you some questions. Fine, I can answer a couple of questions for you. Where can I get a drink here? You should ask my husband about that. He's the owner of a resto bar in Paragon. It's not far from here. Okay, and is it dangerous in Paragon? My husband says that the threat level here is medium. Probably there are more peaceful places than this wasteland, but Paragon isn't the worst place on Earth. The most important thing is to be careful outside Paragon. Too many gangs appeared in this region recently. What do people talk about here? Lately I've been hearing a whole lot of terrible things about this barbecue joint that Biang secured Yev a new fatkin. I don't even want to spread these rumors further because they are, well, too graphic. Oh yeah. Alright, better get going. I didn't see anyone else there, did I? I don't think I did. No. I wonder what happened to their goods then. I mean, maybe there weren't any there when I told them, but I mean, they did find the bandits who I assume were selling the goods anyway, so. Let's have a look actually, see what's in these rooms. There is someone. In front of you is a jittery man. Ah, is that the guy who's got his drug stuff? Who's evidently annoyed with something. He's spinning a pen between his fingers and looking around scared. Yes, what is it? Hurry up. Wait a minute, pal, why are you so jittery? The man stares at you with his red, bloodshot eyes popping out. What, me? I've always been like that. If you slow down, they get ahead of you in the blink of an eye. Have you heard how a tortoise outrun Achilles? And what's the risk of if you're not racing against a tortoise, but against people? Exactly. And then there's this bloody scumbag, this disgusting thing, this bugger, this beast. Who are you talking about? The man grabs himself by the hair and pulls on it with a squeal. What about? Can't you see it's a disgusting bee? The scum has been circling around me for half a day. I hate bees. God, if I only had the dexterity to catch this bastard. It's a small torture rack. I'd envy the flies that get their legs pulled out by kids. You notice a small, not at all mutated but still annoying bee flying around the man. I don't know whether I want to catch it if you're just going to kill it. What? You spend your free time destroying beehives? What a joke. Show me a silver lining, you scumbag. Bastard. I guess I'll try and help him. You immediately notice that the fat bee circling over the unfortunate clerk. Over your first attempt to grab it in its flight ends with you smacking your interlocutor on his head, whilst the second punches the papers out of his hands. Ah, it's harder than it seems. Of course it is. What was I expecting? This just happens, it does. With or without reason. A divine scourge befalls you and no one can help you then. You've got to do it all by yourself. Popping out his bloodshot eyes at you, your interlocutor suddenly draws a big gun from under his belt and begins firing at the black and yellow buzzing dart that's orbiting his body. What on earth are you doing? Is he actually going to hit me? No? What is it you want? Tell me. Okay, that didn't go anywhere near as badly as I expected. And this guy's got money too. I just came here for chat. Well, what is it? Time is money. What's your name? I'm a scribe. Scribe crushes the face. Because my facial nerve is constantly agitated. Can you see my eyes switching? And when people anger me, it can pop out of the orbit like a snail's eye. What are you? My name is Taras, the Tarantula of Tarita. Writer Trudorf. Huh. You got. That's great. I'm glad. Extremely glad. So glad I'm about to jump overboard. And what are you doing here? The goods come in, I count them, write it down. The goods go out, I count them, write it down. If there's a discrepancy with the document, I notify the guards. I'm a bureaucrat for fuck's sake. A pen pusher. Okay, and what can you tell me about this place? This place is Paragon. I suspect it was called that because the life here is a constant chase. Can't reach your goal before the deadline. Don't worry, a bullet will catch you in the back of the head. Hurry up, count right, and you'll stay alive. Why are you scared so much? Gossip, rumours and anecdotes? I've heard that recently a whole settlement was cleared from the mutant plague. No one of those who did it invited people from all around the place to come and live there. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that a little. I haven't spoken to you, have I? You were one of the guys at that meeting, weren't you? Need some junk and fast. A serious-looking man in glasses walking on the deck, examining a pile of yellow faded papers and wax tablets with a lot of interest. As he notices you, he raises his head, adjusts his glasses and squints his eyes at you weak-sightedly. Yes, is there something you want? Nothing in particular. What are those papers you've got there? The man darts a glance on the papers in his hands and shrugs. They're just papers. Did you come see me on some business? Well, it depends. I'm just looking for work here in Paragon. The man takes off his glasses, blows on them and wipes the lenses with his shirt. As he puts the glasses back on, he stares at your face with scrutiny and then nods. Well, I do indeed have a small job. Perhaps you could help me deal with a particularly complex paperwork problem? Tell me, are you any good with logistics? Let's try and see. It's unfortunate. The paperwork turns out to be quite difficult to get your head around. You take your time thinking over the contents of the papers and finally you helplessly spread your arms and hand the documents back to the man. Yeah, alright. Better go sort it out myself. Have a nice day. Are you aware that I could break your neck with just my fingers? Are you saying there's no job for a man like that? One of the man's eyebrows raises skeptically. Who are you? I'd like to see that happen. Do you want to get acquainted with this bad boy? The man coldly looks at your weapon and slowly makes a step back. Suddenly he puts his hands together like a mouthpiece and shouts, Bandit in Paragon, alert! Well, shit. I just thought I was asking for a job in a roundabout way. Alright, for a moment this serious man in glasses looks up from the documents he's interested in and immediately rolls his eyes with irritation. Yeah, you can't really ask for any other jobs. I've tried a couple of different ways. I'm busy, you understand? Busy. I only wanted to ask you a couple of questions. What part of I'm busy don't you understand? Okay, said you're a prick. Let's just get out of here then. Middle-aged man in clean clothes is reading a hardcover book. Seeing you, he stops reading and pushes his glasses up the bridge of his nose. Fyodor Maximovich, how can I be of assistance? Funny, I was just thinking about how I could assist you. What a turn of events, and who are you supposed to be? Don't tell anyone, but I'm an agent of Atom. A traveller and a seeker of high adventure. So you'd be glad to go and join a cause, big or small, right? Maybe you could help us here. I'm ready for the details. Fyodor Maximovich thinks for a bit. A long, deep wrinkle on his forehead becomes more and more pronounced. Finally, he claps his hands. I've got it. Paragon isn't doing as well as it could be. The reason? Constant bickering between the merchants and the guards. I swear those idiots fight simply for the joy of fighting. Although it hasn't yet blossomed into an open conflict, I expect all the wonders of an open civil war any day now. Shooting in the streets, mass looting, all that stuff. It's a very scary possibility. And what can I do to prevent this? We need to reach a common ground. The traders and the guards need a neutral third party to negotiate their conflicts. This may sound like I'm full of myself, but it's actually true. I am the best man for the job. Without me, things around here would quickly run to bloodshed. There's a problem though. The leaders of both parties hate and fear everyone so much they spend all their time locked in their quarters. It'll be hard getting to them and nobody in Paragon wants to risk it. But you, an avid adventurer, could at least give it a try. You look like you have what it takes to inspire them both. You think it's wise to send shady adventurers to solve a critical social problem that could at any moment lead to an all-out war? If they're so paranoid, things could escalate. What would you say if I killed them all in the process of inspiring them? I'm not sure they'll enjoy such a surprise, but as proletariats, we have nothing to lose with our chains. I agree. Where do I look for them? Good show. They're both here in Paragon. The head guard, Nikolai Siplovsky, sits in my former office in the Inland Navigation Building. The head merchant, Leona Abramov, is in the hull of this very ship. They will resist at first, but do your best to persuade them. I see. It's quite a chat, but I gotta leave. Actually, no, I'm gonna ask some questions first. Good to see you. Care to answer some questions? Why not? Ask away. Do you remember Paragon before the war? Sure I do. It was such a nice little port. Long before the war, a second river connecting us to a large lake, but it dried out after the war. Too bad. River trade, in my opinion, is much more efficient than moving goods over land. And is it safe to take a dip in the big lake? In some places it's completely safe, but it's still pretty dirty. Merchants discard all sorts of stuff in the water, stalkers use it to wash radioactive dust off their boots, and the bandits, they even dispose of the victims in those waters. If I remember correctly, doesn't radiation float down to the sediment? It's really sad. How good is trade in the waste? Pretty good, actually. In my opinion, free trade is one of the reasons why civilization, although with much hardship, still exists to this day. Sure, banditry and highway robbery are still dog the traders, but you can't have light without shadow. I guess, unfortunately. And catch any rumors? Say a group of mercenaries recently stopped an attack on Otradno village. That's good news. We have enough crimes as it is. I see. But I should go. Goodbye.